Hello, friends. How are you today? I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. So welcome to the very first episode of Voices That Build. This is the official podcast of the Brickers Foundation. And if you don't know what any of that means, I'm going to tell you. So buckle up, get ready. My name is Crystal. I am your host this evening. Thank you for being here with us today as we launch this new space for conversation and connection and community and more words that start with C, kind of like my name. Don't forget that I'm Crystal and I'm hosting Voices That Build. I want you to say it 5 times real quick so that next Friday you know where to go. If you've seen me posting about this podcast recently, it's because it has been in pre-production for quite some time. And we are human, and that is part of what Voices That Build is. So you're going to hear my cats meowing in the background because I'm a human being at my real-life human library. So let's talk about what this is. This is our first episode. We don't want to get super serious off the bat and scare you away. So we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about what this podcast is, why we created it, what you can expect as we move through season 1. Right now, I'm just setting the stage or the green screen, however you choose to look at it. Before we dive into all of the conversations surrounding the Brickers Foundation, let's talk about what that even is. Here at the Brickers Foundation, we talk about a lot of things, but the core of it is it's a nonprofit that uplifts other nonprofits, because a lot of the times nonprofits in different communities go unrecognized because they don't have the manpower or the financial power for marketing. And that's where we come in and we say, hey, these things exist in your community. Sometimes we're talking about different events or outreach efforts or resources or just how we can support each other in everyday life. Some of the things that we talk about fit on a social media post, and you see that. Some of them are an announcement. Our nonprofit features are a full-length interview on our YouTube channel. But we wanted a space where we could give more context and we could have deeper conversations with you, even though it's kind of just me talking at you, but hopefully in the comments you're talking back right now and telling me what your favorite color is. And if it's not green, you're wrong. So this podcast gives us a space to be a human and to be the Brickers Foundation. So I am very, very honored to be here and be your host for the foreseeable future. I have some notes and I will be looking at them. So sorry, because I'm going to skip a lot of things. Let's first dive into the name, Voices That Build. We're going to talk about that name first. When people hear the word build, they automatically think of something physical, like a building or a project or just something tangible that you can see. But communities are built too. And obviously, I'm not talking about the buildings in a community. I'm talking about communities as a whole. You build trust and you build relationships and confidence and support systems. All of these things have some of the largest impacts on people's lives, but you can't really see them. And they require a lot of consistency and a lot of effort, and they take people willing to invest in something that might not even exist yet, like an idea, which is, again, we're tying it back to what the Brickers Foundation stands for. What we want to do here on this podcast is really go deeper into highlighting the voices and the stories and the ideas and experiences that contribute to building those stronger communities. Sometimes that means talking about youth and what young people might need from adults or mentors or opportunities that they need to be presented around them. Sometimes it's talking about wellness in a way that connects to real life and isn't just toxic positivity. And sometimes it means going deeper into financial literacy and showing you nonprofits and programs that help with that, because we can all agree that a lot of public schools don't set us up for fantastic financial literacy in 2026. One thing that I have learned, not only through a marketing manager at Brickers Foundation, but just through nonprofit work in general and looking at it, is that none of the initiatives or the topics that we discuss exist by themselves. We can talk about youth and what the youth needs, but sometimes that becomes an education about education and also mentorship and wellness and family support, or a conversation about financial literacy can become a whole different conversation about building stability or careers and even opening your own small business. All of these things connect, and real life doesn't fit into a tiny little box. People don't have one need at a time. Real life doesn't happen one issue at a time. Communities facing those challenges aren't also facing them one at a time. You've probably seen the rhetoric of people talking about this thing happening over here, and everyone like, oh, well, you're talking about that, but this is happening. Society needs all eyes everywhere, all the time, always, which is what the Brickers Foundation is on track to be. Season 1 of this podcast, let me breathe real quick, because I just said a lot of words all at once. Take it in. This season 1 of this podcast, is really just about introducing you not only to this podcast and what we're doing here, but the Brickers Foundation as a whole. Who we are, what we're building, what we care about. Hopefully you care about what we care about, and that makes the conversation a lot easier. But if not, then this podcast is about telling you things that you might not be aware of and how you can contribute or choose to care, because these conversations are important. They're not topics on a list. These are things that people deal with every single day. People like you, people like me, people like the person that is currently editing this video. We all face different obstacles in life, and sometimes it feels like we're doing it by ourselves. The Brickers Foundation exists to remind you that you're not doing it by yourself. We're just gonna show you where to go to get that support that you need. Support can be practical. And I think that that is something to start off here. A lot of conversations within this space make it seem like we need $1 billion and, you know, all new legislation and all sorts of different things, but it really can be practical. And sometimes it's as simple as making an introduction, which is what we're doing here. Or you can volunteer your time, which is what over 100 people are doing at the Brickers Foundation. Shout out to all the volunteers. You can become a mentor, or you can just listen to someone tell their story, which we will feature on Voices That Build. Eventually we'll bring people in to talk with us and kind of just start to understand what someone might actually need in society or even in your friend group. A lot of the community building that you observe as someone in a nonprofit or someone in a community happens through really, really, really small actions. A lot of the times they don't make headlines. Leave a comment about a great thing that your friend did one time that nobody even noticed, because I guarantee that you have a friend that did something amazing, whether it was feeding the homeless community or crocheting blankets for hospitals. Not everyone, most people have done good in their life to a degree that you would think it would be on the news and people would be praising it, but it really just kind of happens. And then the next day happens and people move on. So we're here to slow you down and make sure that you read all of the headlines that don't get written by mainstream media, because we're going to write them. Then you're going to see them. Now, I know that that was a ton of information all at once, but remember, this is just the introduction. We are just getting started. I wanted to bring you into the world slowly, even though that was very, very fast. So what I need from you is, number one, whatever you're watching this on, subscribe, follow, hit whatever button that you see. Make sure you pay attention. You guys are going to see what the Brickers Foundation is doing before other people. Don't tell them. This is our secret. Okay, so make sure every Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern time, you come back here. Wherever you're watching this, Spotify, YouTube, I don't know where else it's going, Apple Podcasts, you come back here, you set an alarm for 7:55, and you go, I gotta watch the newest episode of Voices That Build. See how easy that is? You can also leave us a comment letting us know what you think nonprofit work means in your community. Is it something that people just do so that they can record it on their meta glasses and post it online? Or is it something that you think fundamentally matters to building a good society? That is all I have for you guys today. So thank you for joining us. And I will see you when? Next Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern time, right here.